Today on Athletic Conceptual Training podcast, we're honored to sit down with a powerhouse in the veterinary world, Dr. Joe J. Owens III, Tuskegee grad, inventor, entrepreneur, Omega Sci-Fi brother, and founder of Enjoyable and 2 by 2 Pet Support. With a mission to revolutionize pet health, amplify voices in veterinary medicine, he is one of the most recognizable change makers in the industry. Welcome to the show, Dr. Joe.
Hey, appreciate you having me. Great intro, bro. I really like
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
All right.
We're really excited to get to know you. I appreciate you jumping on and tackling some of these questions and helping me bring awareness and these exclusive interviews to the veterinary community.
Sure, for sure. Thank you for having me again. I love your platform, what you're doing. Obviously, you got to start somewhere, man. You're doing great. So
Thank
stay
you.
authentic and continue to get these voices out there because we got to be heard, for
Yes,
us, by
sir.
us. So I really appreciate that. Keep doing what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Let's jump right in. Take
Mhm.
us back. What's your moment of calling into veterinary medicine, and how did growing up in Durham shape that journey?
Yeah, man. Well, so a lot of people didn't know this, and I technically didn't know this until I knew it.
Yeah.
My mother is a veterinarian, and I was in second grade. We had just moved down from from Massachusetts to North Carolina,
Okay.
and she comes in. My second grade teacher, Mrs. Hobbs, was my mom's good friend. I didn't know this either. So they're talking, and they have like show and tell day.
Hmm.
So my mom comes in with our cat named Precious, and she's like, "Hey, everybody, we have a special guest. It's Dr. Owens." I'm like, Doctor Who? And she's like, Dr. Owens. And I'm like, Mom. And all the kids was just like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
they're petting my cat Precious and they're loving it. And I just saw the joy and how much like respect and love they had for just the environment of that. And
Mm,
the whole time I'm like, I had access to this the whole time. And I just didn't know. She was always just mom to me.
yeah.
So I think that was my first real resonating sound of like, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe I'll put that I want to be a ninja on hold for a little
Hmm.
bit.
Hmm.
'Cause
Hmm.
that's what you want to do when you're a kid. You want to be something else, a Ninja Turtle or
Yep.
something. So I think that was my first time with like experiencing that love and joy. I've always had pets in my house from cats, dogs, rabbits. We didn't get a large animal. I wasn't into reptiles either, but in that space, man,
Yeah.
it was always just second nature to me. So I really like that aspect of it. And I decided I think I love it.
That's awesome. What a
Yeah.
awesome to have a great example like that.
Yeah. She's also Tuskegee grad, class of 1980.
Okay.
Again, I didn't know these pieces were going to come into fruition until I got a little older. And then I just was on a path of legacy and I didn't know that either. So
Wow.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, what role did Tuskegee University play in molding your identity, not just as a doctor, but as a disruptor?
Yeah, man. Tuskegee University to me is my heart. It's this little town in Alabama. Most people know it from Auburn, which is 15 minutes north.
Hmm.
And it's the only HBCU or historical Black college university with a vet school. And we represent probably kicking out more than 90% of the African American veterinarians in that space. But for me, it was a space of recognition, gratitude for people that look like us, even
Hmm.
in that space. And I'm an 86 baby. I was very
Hmm.
familiar with, racism, discrimination. My parents were very vocal about, hey, be happy, but just letting you know, X, Y, and Z. They may not like you because of this, and they're treating you
Yeah.
like this because of that. So I was very aware. And my parents were very intentional about reading, writing, arithmetic. So no matter where you go, like Tuskegee made me not just a number, it was a community. And
Mm.
really the people, the students of Tuskegee make Tuskegee University, right? Make the whole city what it is. And I really appreciate seeing people of color, black and brown, like killing it in life. Like, what are you doing? Oh man, you want to be an astronaut? You work for NASA? You're an engineer, you're an architect. Oh my God. I think I got to step my game up, right? I want to
Right.
be a veterinarian. And they're like, that's cool too. So like, even to this day, I talk to all my college friends. We 21 years out,
Yeah.
still best friends, and it's
Yeah.
it's that space. I'm not just a number. I'm Joe. I went from your average Joe, right, to
Yep.
like Joe, Mr. T, Joe to Q to Joe, Mr. T, U to Q to like Joe, Mr. T, U to Q, Dr. Owens, right? And I love
Mm-hmm.
that. And now and you just keep expanding on that, and you're very proud to bring that right back to my community to show them, hey, you can do this too. I was just like you, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, but I'm very competitive in that space, and I'm gonna do what I can because iron sharpens iron, and that's all I see is this beautiful black and brown people who say, despite the world telling us we're lazy, we don't know nothing, we're silly, we're dumb, like all the above, all the negative connotations that come with racism, which is far from the truth. And if you're living in a brick watching TV, watching those channels like Fox News, who are always doing this and making you feel guilty about, being comfortable in your skin, it's just not true. And experiencing it firsthand is just life changing for anyone of color, in my opinion. So yes, that did mold me to really develop what I already had in me, which was being competitive, being proud, to be who I am, and to really resonate with my community, and be, like you said, a disruptor, right? Why
Yeah,
not? Who else is going to do it, right?
exactly. Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, another Tuskegee grad out in my area who I haven't I just reached out to, but Dr. Angelo Staton is
Stanton. Oh yeah.
yeah, he's out
Uh-huh.
here. So when you see my email coming up, Dr. Staton, don't ignore it. It's not spam.
Hey, I get him to come on here.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have a conversation.
uh,
Hmm,
moving right along.
that's funny.
Yeah. What inspired the invention of Enjoy a Bowl, and how did you
Mm,
go from idea to holding a product in your hand?
for sure. Great question. So enjoyable was derived. Um, it started with my own pet. Right. His
Okay.
name's Q. Rest in peace. He's on my chain. He died
Yeah.
last March, 2024,
Mm.
17 years old. And he
Wow.
always got sick at the park. He had a great vet. But
Yep.
anyway, um, he was very kind of, starting getting a little pickier the more he, older he got. And then he had a little, cholesterol issues. So I had him on like a little, just different food transitions in life that come with aging.
Yeah.
And one day he just smelled my food, and I had lasagna in the morning. I was a bachelor like 10, 12 years ago,
Mhm.
smelling my food. And it's like, man, I got to have some of this, bro. And I'm like, bro, I can't give you none. And he smelled it for like 2 minutes straight and then went straight to his bowl and ate it up. And from there, I was like, might be on something. And our patients obviously follow their nose. And on top of that, now I'm in the clinic, busting my butt, dealing with clients and patients. And it's just very challenging when 90% of clients come in for issues they induced,
Right.
right? What are you feeding them, right? And
Right.
then why do you think this is the best? And you never decide to take any pivots for said transition. So my point is, I got really frustrated with the challenge of trying to get you to comply with the new diet, trying to get your pet to comply with the new diet to save your pet's life, because now we're diabetic or have a
Mhm.
condition like pancreatitis where this is irreversible, and now we're on that path. I spend it, it starts off with a 15-minute, rabies vaccine for you to tell me we're PUPD, drinking a lot, peeing a lot, and then I say, and you're already in the condition of pre-diabetic, right? Just body
Yep.
condition wise. And then I convince you to run some tests. All right, you run the test, we got a confirmation. And now that 15-minute conversation goes to an hour and a half, which I'm proud to spend with you because I want you to really understand where we're at without pointing the finger, because again, we understand it. But
Right.
what do we do now? So it was frustrating to see pets not complying with the diet. You go from steak and potatoes for 10 years, because that's what induced the diabetes and everything
Right.
else, to now you want me to eat this rice cake, Dr. Owens.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 10 years of conditioning, not just for the pet, but
Yeah.
for the owner. And
Right.
don't forget, 9 out of 10 times, it's the older lady or gentleman that their kids left them. They're already older, and this is their baby. So, what do you want to do for your baby? You love them to death through the mouth, and that's cooking. And that's a portion of their lifestyle without pause and say, how are we moving exponentially on this exercise lifestyle? We still doing our walks?
Right.
Are we still doing this? Because these curtains ain't matching these drapes when it comes to what you're putting in protein wise for the amount of
Right.
exercise we're not getting with cousin that now became auntie grandma, and you never had a discussion, right, with a pivot. And I know I can't eat what I used to when I was 18,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
black don't crack. So I still get 28 at the club.
Hey, there
But
you go.
but my body says, hey, bro, you're not eating that. Can't
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
Can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that's how enjoyable was created. I wrote it on paper. Played with it a little bit, did some trials with my pets, had my some colleagues had their pets too. I say, hey, try this out. And then locked myself in a room, wrote a patent in a weekend, and then got that issued out, man. And next thing I know, I'm on, Steve Harvey's Thunderdome getting my first $50,000 for seed fund money.
There you go.
There
There
we
you
go.
go. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Appreciate it.
People talk about innovation. What's the hardest part of creating something new in a field built on tradition?
Mhm. The hardest part about creating something new is obviously the acceptance of in the reservation of it's just too easy. That's just too new.
Yeah.
Uh, the trust, it's just it's for my bowl just in general. I'm only going off anatomy, right?
Mhm.
Our patients have 300 million olfactory receptors in their nose to our six. It's a whole new world for them, just in general, that we could never relate to. It ain't the
Right.
taste. Half our patients eat their own excrement and stool,
Hmm.
right? And why do they do that? Because they say, "Oh, I still smell partially digested food in there. That's still good. That's still
Hmm.
some good to me." Right. So like to put that concept out there to just to use a tool in our tool belt in our field, it's a no-brainer for me. But a lot of people are just like, hey, I want to feed them this. It doesn't make me feel as good to like, X, Y, or Z. And I don't want to
Mm.
feel guilty about like tricking them. I'm really triggering their senses so that we can all comply to what's necessary at this stage in their life. Because at the end of the day, their pet, our pets don't have an engine light on.
Right.
So what else would you have them do? So it's always going to be an education curve that comes with anything new and innovation. And like you said, like we discussed before, squeakiest, tire gets the oil.
Yeah.
And if I don't keep that tire rolling regardless and scream and keep oiling it and feeding the community with education, the concept will just always be a concept instead of a real valuable product that's out there and everyone is digestible. Netflix won't Netflix and chill until we had some conversation, right? You got
Exactly.
to get it out there first. And, that comes with marketing and distribution and everything else. But yeah, it's a challenge with creating your own wave. But if you're up for that challenge, again, I'm very competitive. My super talent, I tell people, is I'm not the smartest one in the room, but I'm outwork you.
Yep.
I'm outwork you.
Yep.
Period.
That's awesome. And I would even say that you're actually being a patient advocate.
Trying to be, if you
Yeah.
allow me to, and that's
Yeah.
a whole nother conversation,
Man. Yeah. Yeah.
man.
Well,
Keep these questions coming.
all right. All right. With two by two pet support, you're going beyond medicine into support systems. What gaps do you see that inspired its creation?
For sure. Two by two pet support was mainly because we had three clinics, 2 day practices in the ER. And we were kind of based, ER was in Henderson, I mean, Las Vegas, the heart of Las Vegas,
Hmm.
and then two in Henderson, which are kind of like, all in the same area, but
Hmm.
15-20 minute differentials. The issue was we practice great medicine, and because we have doctors at nighttime, obviously our day practices are closed at a certain time, and we just transfer our patients, especially the critical ones that we hospitalize, to the ER with the doctor and with a treatment plan, so they're still getting top quality care and communication with the owner,
Yeah.
right? And it was
Yeah.
just a way of that. And a lot of times, once I already got you to comply and follow my treatment plan, um, we want to keep this good quality medicine going. And I don't
Right.
want you to be worried about, all right, now you got to come back, pick the dog up over here, to take him over here to the ER. It's 30 minutes back that way. You know what, doc, never mind, that's just too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're removing pain points from patients and clients that we know come with this territory of good medicine, with resources we had. So that was number one. And then number two, from an aspect of you know, humane euthanasia. At home euthanasias are big when it comes to what you can do, what you can't do, even how big these dogs are to transport them from A to B. And let's say you're a senior citizen,
Hmm.
you may have carpal tunnel. I got to get this big dog who just collapsed on me.
Hmm.
And I need to take him to the vet, but my husband's at work till 7 o'clock tonight. How do I do that? So we're there for support, also for like, caretaking you to and from your location when you need assistance. And then we also do deceased pet, remains for like private cremations.
Yeah.
Owning an ER, and I'm sure you can attest to this, the trauma of putting your pet down or euthanized at a hospital in a room.
Yeah.
You do private cremation, which means you get, Fifi's remains back in that urn for those who don't know.
Yep.
And now I'll call you at the clinic when you're ready. Not me, but my reception. Now, if you come in, what happens? You're emotional. You got PTSD. I know you want to talk to my receptionist who's dealing with probably 8 of the phone calls at the same time. We don't want to come off as rude, but you want some space to talk about it to some capacity. If my great customer service receptionist is going to entertain you, you're going to take about 20 minutes of their time, guaranteed,
Yeah.
right? And if you don't, honestly, we start getting a whole inventory of gift bags that are private cremations that you never picked up because it was just too traumatic to come back and revisit all the emotions to pick up. So we transfer those remains to your house directly. You don't have to worry about picking up or revisiting those traumas. My ER, we used to have tons and tons and tons of private remains just lingering for months to years,
Yeah.
because we don't, the last thing we want is to get rid of them, and you
Right.
finally show up and say, man, we're about that. I know it's been a while, like, what do you do with that information? So
Exactly.
those are the pain points we want to alleviate from our clients to really get best care, because we all, you deserve it, period.
Yeah, I love that model, and I think that you know more hospitals, emergency hospitals, should follow that. I mean,
For sure. But how much bandwidth you got?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, how do you balance being a mentor with being a mover and shaker? What's the most powerful lesson you've passed on to the next generation?
I balance being a mentor just by access,
Okay.
right? And I like to be very accessible when it comes to people I mentor, because you got a life. Normally, you're in vet school. I remember vet school. I don't like to really be on the, hey, only talk to me between these hours of operation. Mind you, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? So we had a
Right.
3 hour time differential from me to even the East Coast, and the
Yeah.
Tuskegee is still 2 hours being Central Time.
Yeah.
So I want to be very respectful of your time. I want this relationship that we're going to have a mentor mentee to be very genuine. And you're not always putting me on calendar for friends and family, right? You don't do that to friends and family.
Right.
You need to text me if it's emergency, 911 doc. I got you. I'm going to put the kids down, take a step away because I have access to my wife understands, hey, handle your business,
Yeah.
right? And I don't make that inconvenient. I make it just accessible. So I try to do that as I'm shaking and moving. For people who get it, it's like, if you know, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, my information isn't for everyone. I can't sugarcoat everything because that'll take too much time,
Yeah.
right? And that's why I can be very selective of who is a good fit for me. Because I want to, if it's not mutually beneficial, then it's okay.
Yeah.
You go that way, I go this way. These wheels don't stop moving regardless. So,
Yep. And
and that's very clear.
yeah. Yeah. I love that. And that is okay.
Gotta be,
Yeah.
gotta be okay.
Yep. Yep.
But I do, try to prioritize those students and just check in. I don't need to talk to you every day, right? I'm not the home
Right.
girl.
Right. Right.
I'm not the
Right.
homie, but I definitely want to have a mutual respect of, hey, we can talk shop. I don't need to be extremely professional with you.
Mm-hmm.
We can take it there if we need to, just to make sure things arise. But I want you comfortable so that we can be honest with each other when it comes to this, because everyone else is going to lie to you
Yeah.
sometimes, especially, or sugarcoat it to the point where until you get into it,
Right.
then now you're in a space where you're $400,000 in debt. You're in a position that you didn't really want to sign up for, and now you're thinking what? Crazy thoughts and
Yeah.
shoulda, woulda, couldas. And those are the preventive steps that also we try to apply in vet med for the patients. We got to start with us too.
Exactly. I
You
love that.
got to, yeah.
Your IG reels are educational and magnetic. How do you decide what content to create and what message is too important to skip?
I start those reels. Sometimes I feed off of my following. Sometimes they ask pertinent questions. Um, and sometimes I just gear whatever is kind of in motion that month, or
Hmm.
whatever's heavy on my heart. I may see, for instance, I have, one of my workout buddies has a Frenchie, and he was hitting me like, hey, he just had an episode where his pet was very fortunate and had a heat stroke episode. He didn't even know it. And he
Mm,
was like, "Is it a good idea? Should I bring him in?" He was really pumped. I was like, "Yes,
right.
breathing's kind of important, bro." He's like, "I guess you're right." I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, sounds like you just barely averted a crisis here, but I would still check him in. He's like, "Well, you think I really should take him?" I'm like, I mean, look, man, I
Yeah,
can't
I
make
just
you do it, but if
right.
it's important to you, we in the middle of lifting weights, and you're asking me about it, you should probably do it.
Yeah.
And then that would resonate, say, okay, that's clearly one that you need to really scope on right now. Las Vegas, it's 90s to 100s, about to be triple digits for the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about walking these guys at 3 in the afternoon with no foot protection. You wouldn't do it
Uh,
for you in the sun. The dog's jumping on the human,
mhm.
like, pick me up, please. And then the humans is like, no, get off me. Come
Yeah.
on, let's walk. And that's not fair, right?
No. No.
And people just don't get it because it's not their pain. And again, they can't talk. So I do selectively make sure I'm very intentional with my messaging, the why behind it, and keep it 1 + 1 is 2, because we don't need to get into the whole weeds of things, scientifically,
Mhm.
diagnostically, even. It's just, look, start here.
Right.
Step
Right.
one, it's a
Right.
problem. Can we both agree there is a problem that's not normal? Cool. And we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, in a time where misinformation spreads fast, how do you use your platform to keep pet parents not only engaged but empowered?
I use my platform to keep pet parents engaged and empowered by just giving them real life experiences, right? No one thinks it's going to be you or your pet until it happens to you and your pet in that situation. I've been the I told you so guy for a very long time. Pet insurance is my pet peeve. Pet
Mm,
peeve. Please get it.
mhm,
I want to be your best friend. Please.
mhm.
You're gonna hate me. These little, $100 visits, vaccines, the pet's happy. You got a little poop sample. Great. When he gets hit by that car because you want to keep those nuts on him, I need you to have the insurance. If you're gonna walk
Yeah.
down that path, I'm
Right.
telling you that's a very high risk, predisposed path for a lot. And I know you love them, and the more you keep them, the more that bond is going to be tight. And then you're going to pinch us with what? I
Right.
didn't know. Nah, we gonna have
Mm,
those conversations repeatedly, and I don't mind putting myself out there to say, Did you get the insurance yet? Did you get it yet? Did you get it yet?"
right.
Because I know it's important.
It
Pet
is.
parent with insurance versus one without. These are two different conversations and realities, and obviously outcomes. And we have to live with that. We can't unsee that.
Yeah.
Not just me, my staff, from reception on down. I can't unsee that. And what do you do as the pet parent?
Right.
I know what you're going. I know how you feel about me
Right.
now, but it wasn't like that, right? So I try to be very intentional with that as well, and just stay like unapologetic about it. Like, that's the messaging. This is why we're doing it. Keep it simple, and hopefully you can understand that or comply. And if not, I'm not for everybody. I get that too. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah, we could probably spend a long time on that question.
all day.
You're a proud member of Omega Sci-Fi and a double HBCU grad. What does it mean to be a black man leading in veterinary medicine today?
Well, to be a black man leading veterinary medicine today means, two things.
Okay.
It's you wear it as a merit of honor and respect, or you look at it as like another target on your back,
Yeah.
right? And back in college taught me, like, everybody's not gonna like you.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's not gonna like you, and I'm a very, like, engaging extrovert kind of guy,
Mhm.
to the point where some of my friends, I was like, "Man, why does I heard such and such was talking about me, man? I didn't do nothing to him. What's wrong?" And it took one of my best friends say, "Bro, it's nothing at all. Just cuz, bro. Like, it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And you take that same concept of, like, tough skin with a little bit of creativity, and then you kind of live in that space to say, look, if ain't nobody talking about you, then you probably doing something wrong,
Right.
right? So I take that
Right.
as guidance to say we're on the right path here. You got to
Mhm.
have some haters. What they say, they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah.
But either way,
Yeah.
you talking about me, you talking about the honor and the respect you have, or you talking about how I hate that guy and, man, how dare he, and he's so stupid and X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
Either way, I got free chicken in your head, free
Right.
real estate, free real estate. But I can guarantee you one thing: at the end of the day, whether you love me or hate me, I plan on winning.
That's right. That's
That's the
right.
game plan, no matter what lane I'm in.
Give me
And
some of that.
that's not even being cocky. That's just the confidence I have in me and the self-esteem I have to deliver for
Yeah.
my platform and staying true to me, because that's where we're at, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. Man. Let's get real. What are some of the most unspoken challenges you faced in this industry, and how do you stay grounded?
Ryan, I'm gonna tell you, this is a tough one. My wife told me to taper this down
Okay.
a lot. Elephant in the room is the unspoken conversation is lack of pet insurance. Lack of pet insurance. You never have a plan as a pet parent. And because that's the top of the bucket, the trickle down levels, I'll call it BS because that's what it is, affects the masses in ways that are uncomprehendable unless you're in it.
Yeah.
You don't have pet insurance. Okay. The problem's guaranteed to happen. And guess what happens? You blame the vet or the staff,
Man.
because no one wants to be the villain. I
Right.
can't be the villain. But
Right.
if you treated this animal, for instance, if you never brush your teeth, Ryan, for 10 years, never saw a toothbrush in 10 years, is it your fault or my fault that your mouth messed up?
Of course, it's your fault.
Okay. And not only have you never had a dental cleaning, you don't know the cost of toothbrush,
Yeah.
toothpaste,
Yeah.
Listerine, a vet visit. Like, you don't know any of these costs. So now when the trauma's here
Right.
and it's been expedited. Oh, and by the way, you can't tell people how bad your mouth hurts.
Right.
And eating is such a necessity. You got to eat. So for the pet parent's mind, well, he eats just fine.
Mm.
The quality of life has been downgraded years ago, but we're gonna keep
Mhm.
this rolling because now we've normalized the obvious smell in the air, because now you
Right.
become, mute to the smell. We smell
Whew.
as soon as you come in the room, slaps you in the face like a brick. And now when the bill comes out to rectify the situation and get your pet out of that huge deficit, because you were never indoctrinated to understand what real quality maintenance looks like, you don't know what a total vehicle cost looks like and to get him
Right.
out of that situation. So who do you blame?
The vet. You're too
The vet.
expensive.
And then you
Oh.
start slandering, and then like
Oof.
it's and then everybody can do what I do, and I'm excellent at what I do. So now
Right.
you want low cost, now you want to talk about access to care. What kind of care?
Right.
Because you have to take accountability for you not
Hmm.
doing the things you're supposed to, let alone never having a financial plan to ever get this pet out of that situation in their time of need. And even with best care, they're gonna need you one day.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I put my life on it. They're gonna need you one day.
Yeah.
And a bad day for them ends up just it's a bad I had a bad day. Tooth just finally ruptured out my face. Or
Right.
my leg finally broke because it's been dealing with some stuff for years. And you refuse to give me a ladder to jump out this car every time. So I gotta
Right.
jump down. Now the
Right.
leg's that way. And now I'm about to be put down, euthanized, because you can't afford to fix this leg and you don't want to see
Whew.
me suffer. That's the part that eats us alive as a veterinarian. And that's just one room, Ryan. And I got 30 more. I got
Yeah.
30 more rooms to talk about. So
Yeah.
now, what does that do to me, my staff, especially after you decline it? You take the pet home, you decline even pain meds, you talk shit about us on the internet, which we read because we're like, damn, what happened to that case? Shit talking to you right now, how bad you are and how expensive, and don't ever go here because all they want is your money. And then they blame you. Here's the bigger elephant in the room. Um, how dare you not fix my animal for free? 'Cause I thought you supposed to care about animals. I can't care more than you, ma'am. I didn't
Yeah.
do this because if I did, I promise you, I would have been brushing his teeth a long time ago with you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
don't put all that on me. And that's heavy for us because I'm telling you, like I know, we were trained to understand what's really happening to this animal who
Yeah.
ain't spoke to nobody. And when they finally got a decent conversation with someone who cares, is trying to advocate for them, you turn around and villainize the entire staff and community. And now here's the gambit. What does that do to our mental? This is why we're number one suicide between us and dentists. Sure.
Right.
Even with tough skin. And we just lost a gentleman last month,
Hmm.
equine vet, just finally couldn't take it no more. Right.
Yeah.
And that's our endemic that people can't appreciate. But I think all that noise would calm down if you had insurance or a way to supply decent care to your animal when they need you. And I promise you, they will need you. They will need you. That's the message. They're going to need you. You don't got a budget. You never had a budget. You leave us with very limited options. And by the way, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not Miss Cleo. I got to run the same diagnostics that our NDs run on us, and they don't even talk to us.
Mm,
Get the lab. They send you over there. Get the labs.
mm,
Do this. Do that. And maybe I'll call you when it's convenient for me.
mm.
So that's the challenge. I mean, that's the elephant in the room, and we take that and we wear it, and then we start normalizing that. And then what do we do to compensate? We downgrade the medicine,
Yep.
right? Or we start prejudging people who have it, people who
Yep.
actually have that. But I don't feel like talking about it. You look, you don't want to talk about it. You here for the rabies? I smell something in the ears, but you know what? You probably gonna beat me up over prices or something like that. So here's your rabies. Looks good. Slap you on the butt. I'll see you another 365 days.
Yeah.
By the way, they come to me at the ER at 2 in the morning because now they look
Man.
like a stroke victim because that ear infection that could have been resolved a while ago is now what? Vertigo. And the
Yeah.
owner's like, they're stroked out. I think Q-tip, big old chocolate wad, say, nah, probably an inner ear infection, hopefully, but let's start there
Yeah.
before we just put this pet down, because
Yeah.
we're just going to jump the gun and say it's a stroke. So, I mean, that's the elephant in the room. And that's my short version, Ryan, of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like I hate, like I'm just against veterinary medicine, but like every profession has their challenges.
Sure.
And this is a big one that really affects mental health. And it's June, which is mental health month, right?
Yep.
But you got to start. And I think it would just alleviate so many pain points if you just had some route of care financially to help these patients, especially when you're like, I'm eating raw diet. I saw TikTok and they only cook for their pet. Okay, okay. But you got to get ready to help me get you out of that situation when you burn them, burn that pancreas up.
Right. Right.
So anyway, that's that one.
It's
I hope I answered the question.
no. It's get insurance,
Difficult.
ladies and gentlemen. Get
Get
insurance.
insurance. Just
He
get it, man.
he is so right. I mean when I go into the room to present an estimate, and you see the different reactions from people who have it versus people who don't, and even with the best intention, if you don't have the means, you don't have the means.
And that's why I don't have a Ferrari.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, be real
Right.
with yourself.
Whew.
Be real with yourself first. I love the human animal bond and experience, just like the next person. But if you are barely struggling to keep your lights on and support yourself, let alone your kids and everything else, it's probably not the best idea today to get that pet
Yeah.
today because you're going to put him in the same lifestyle and in circumstances and do nothing about it because clearly that's still option maybe Z on your list of things that you got to prioritize for obvious reasons.
Right.
But it's just not fair to do that to that animal and call it a good time because you wanted the experience or you wanted to add another thing or you just didn't think about all the expense that comes with just maintenance on a pet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Um,
it.
I want to pivot and ask a little bit of a tougher question.
Sure.
And we're talking about client interaction. We're talking about um, pet insurance. But I want to ask your personal opinion about these interactions and your ability and your experience dealing with these types of situations because it does get tough out there.
Yeah.
Have you ever had your intelligence questioned in a room simply because you walked in as a black man in a lab coat?
The short answer is yes.
Okay.
Even like I said, walking in with the lab coat, and I'm very intentional about that because, as you know, black don't crack.
Yeah.
So I've probably been not today, but at least before today, I was probably 28 for about at least 15 years,
Yeah.
right? Um, and even then, that's not enough. So I mean, You come in with the stethoscope. I've always been a doctor because I knew that was a challenge and I don't have a lot of time. I want to come in not suited and booted. We ain't in Armani, but I'm in a nice, some slacks, a nice shirt, some
Yep.
nice dress shoes. You understand? I'm not here.
Yeah.
I ain't here to play with you. I'm here to
Right.
discuss your pet. And they'll stick with the Dr. Owens on the logo, and they still say, so are you the technician or is the doctor coming or
Yeah.
what are you? And then after that, like, well, that's what it says.
Yeah.
Break the ice as best you can because you want to stay focused and not dwell into the ignorance. But they had their reasons. I get it. You're nervous, right? And the difference between GP and ER is, look, I can fluff you in daytime. We can talk shop a little bit. You can tell me how good I look or don't look, or what your favorite movie is today. And now we get to the pet. If that helps you comply, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
ER, hey man, I got 30 seconds to whoa you. This is serious. This is what I'm seeing right now. This is what we need to do. This is what my top differentials. We doing this or not?
Yep.
Oh well, how you been long enough? I've been doing it long enough, ma'am. I long
Yeah.
enough to know your dog is in a crisis. I'm
Right.
gonna give you some options. I need you to comply
Right.
because time is of the essence.
Right.
And that really cuts a lot of that trauma. But if you don't
Yeah.
have those experiences to manage
Right.
people, it can be very challenging, right? And at the end of the
Yep.
day, pets are colorblind, so they don't care.
Yeah.
Can you do the job or not? And that's all that really matters or should matter. And
Right.
I've had, like, when I first opened up my own business, like I guess month 3 or 4, yeah, I had one client come in, and she was, Caucasian lady came and she said, hey, do you have any white doctors?
Whoa.
And I'm like, fresh out. It's just
Yeah.
me. So, but I don't think Fifi would mind because I think she just wants some help.
Yeah.
It's about 10 o'clock at night. I think we should probably help her.
Yeah.
And I'm more than qualified. So if you allow me to do that, we can move forward. And
Right.
that kind of shut that noise up. But people gonna be people, and you can't
Yeah.
bank on that or expect, false expectations in that space, knowing what it is. And we can talk about the current administration, the things that they're dealing with right now that are
We
still like, oh
man.
my God, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't help that, this isn't a unrealistic conversation or story. It happens all the time. It's just how you deal with those interactions so that you can focus on what your real passion is, which is helping that pet get some relief and therapy. And then, you know what? Once you do that, everybody, now I'm one of the cool ones, right? Now at least I'm good with you now. Right. That's not a black guy. That's Dr. Owens. He saved my pet. Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
please go see him, bro. He's black, but like don't worry about, like, oh man, he's
Right. Right.
yeah, because that's not the reality. That's just what the people want. Society wants people to think of us, and
Right.
that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, you're going to come with some challenges, especially being, what are we, less than 2% in this profession, being a
Man.
black male
Yes.
entrepreneur in that space. I'm probably 0.00002%,
Right.
right? And so it's always a woe factor, especially when you come in the room to a new client and they have different expectations of what you're supposed to look like. That's what they're comfortable with,
Yeah.
especially when they're going to relinquish their baby who's in need and pain to said this brand new guy that's like, you don't really fit the model that I was expecting, but maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Maybe, right? So, but that don't let it stop you, right? I think that's huge, and just stay comfortable and unapologetically, you know, black in your skin and comfortable in your skin. Like this, it is what it is. And my education and my experience and my know-how skill set will just bypass all the noise that you want to create. Don't matter to me.
Yeah, I love that, and I've definitely run into a few issues myself, especially being the manager of a hospital when it comes down to dealing with um,
Clients, irate
clients.
clients.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then when they figure out you're the one that they're going to talk to, but
Yeah,
it's all a great experience, and it's helped me grow so
that
much.
part.
Yeah,
And that's important, man. Growth is definitely important in this space. And if everything was, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, sunshine and roses, I mean, I think the world would just be complacent anyway. You got to have some challenges. I
right.
just hope that's when we really move forward on. Like, just that's come on, that's dead.
Yeah, right.
Come
We're here.
on.
We're here. We're here.
We're
Get
here.
used
We've
to
been
it.
here. We've
Yeah.
been here.
Right.
We ain't going nowhere.
Right.
By the way, we've seen this before too.
Oh, man.
Jesus,
Uh,
we've seen it. We've been here before. Come on.
do you
Mm.
think the industry truly values diverse voices, or does it tokenize them when it's convenient?
I'm going to say a combination of both. You know, the industry is what you make it. What do I mean by that? As someone who's come up, I've worked for private practices. My mentor was, is a proud member of Omega Psi Phi,
Okay.
veterinarian, Tuskegee grad, and he gave me comfort in traveling 3,000 miles across states to come in and set up shop with him, right? And I was like, look, I'm treating this like this is my money. I promise you. I don't make a mess where I sleep, and,
Yep.
and I'm gonna respect all your clients, and I promise you, I'm gonna make you proud, and I'm gonna take accountability. If I mess up with something, I'm coming to you directly. You cool with that? And he was like, man, no one has ever talked to me like that before.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right. And that's just not the mindset that some of the youth has. But leading to your question, it's like it's always going to be this big challenge and elephant in the room when it comes to your space. You can create your own space, right? Where people accept you. And I may not be for everybody, but for the people that get it, just like your platform and mine, they're going to get it. And they're here for a reason. And
Yeah.
they're the ones that value what we have to say and what we bring to the table. And hopefully it will be that electric where people say, yeah, you gotta hear these gentlemen. They
Yeah.
talking that real stuff,
Yep.
especially our community.
Yes, sir.
Now on the corporate side, yeah, because you're already a very small percentage of this community. So
Right.
you're easy to target, especially when you got some sense. Now, oh, how dare you be
Mhm.
this or that, right? And how dare you be
Mhm.
that good and get this type of deal?
Mhm.
Because I didn't get that, so
Hmm.
that by law they're gonna hate. And
Mhm.
again, if you're aware of that, then be aware. And if they can tokenize it without, they're gonna do what they can.
Right.
That's just what they need to do whatever to make themselves feel good. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. I mean, especially with this DEI, weaponization that the current administration is doing is nonsense. But it's that's how threatened they can be.
Yeah.
And that's just they feel more of that space from just a numbers game in general. So by default, that's just what they're accustomed to. Even if you have a couple top ends that say, "No, this is different. I love it. We're all for it." How do you get the subordinates to get on board with you?
Right.
You're not. And at some point, they're going to crumble because of pressure, and then that's when the lies and the deceit and stuff that just they put you in a corner and paint you to be the situation you're not, and now they have every right to try to get rid of you because of X, Y, or Z. And
Mm.
that's some experience. I'm sure I'm not alone, but in that corporate setting it can be somewhat like that. So my recommendation, obviously, if I'm in my community and I'm the voice in my community, I'm invested in this community. I don't just know you, I know of you, I know your kids, I know you. I know your pets. This is the third generation you're dealing with now. Like, man,
Yeah.
I done birthed a lot of your puppies.
Right.
I'm in that community, and because it's my practice, I'm developing the culture that you're coming to me as a client, and you appreciate this culture too,
Yeah.
right? And that's a culture of excellence, and that's really all that matters.
Man. You speak up for equity, representation, and change. What has it cost you professionally or personally?
Speaking up has cost me nothing.
Good.
If I look at things now, because again, we're very clear of what reality really can be and what it is and the potentials. If it wasn't meant for me, it wasn't meant for me. That's fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because either way, I'm very outspoken. I'm going this way. I'm very direct and intentional with how I position my profession, how I want to make my reach to other people that look like me or don't look like me. Because at the end of the day, it's about the passion and the belief system and the oath that we all took as veterinarians and veterinary medicine, it just the whole staff in the industry. We want to take care of pets that can't
Yeah.
speak for themselves. So if I miss an opportunity because I'm too loud or too boisterous or whatever you feel, it wasn't meant for me. That was never the process. So I didn't lose anything.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
very fortunate to be in the position I am in. Um, Things I take nowadays are very cosmic, and I'm at positions where if I don't have to work with you if I don't want to.
Right.
I'm very selective of who I put in my circle of energy because again, I'm going that way.
Mhm.
We going that way. So if
Mhm.
you don't want to be a part of that, please.
Yeah.
I'm respect your energy, you respect mine, and I don't have to do that. So
Yeah.
that's the position I created for myself. And cosmically, you manifest it, you say it out loud, you talk it out. I mean, you really dive into it, go full throttle. It's gonna happen, and that's a guarantee. That
Yes,
I can
sir.
guarantee. You
See.
know. period.
10 years from now, what do you want people to say when they mention Dr. Joe Owens?
Oh man, 10 years now, I ain't done. I hope I ain't done. I don't want to be done. Um, it's winning is addictive,
Yeah.
and I want to win the hearts, of course, of people, of pet parents who get it. This new generation, Gen Z, man, they get it, man, they get it.
Hmm.
So I hope to just be the advocate for patients who can't talk, speak up for themselves,
Hmm.
for pet parents that truly want to get it and understand how you can really like this dog don't got a 10-year shelf life.
Right.
That's over with. It's how you manage those miles is up to you. You have more responsibility and like jurisdiction over the outcome of your pet's longevity and quality of life
Hmm.
more than you think. And then with the right appropriate guidance and pivots, you can get into 20. I mean, you really
Yep.
can.
Yeah.
Obviously, accidents happen, right? Shit happens,
Right.
but like logistically, if you pivot and move how you need to move and make those appropriate adjustments and do what you need to do, that's what I'm an advocate for because it hurt my heart when my first son died,
Yeah. Yeah.
and my kids ask me every day, like, oh, QQ died? QQ died? I'm like, yeah, he's gone, man. Like, when we get another one, I'm like, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And it's personal to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I know I can resonate with those pet parents because I'm not only just a veterinarian, I've been a pet parent, and it affect you more than you think they do,
Yeah.
and they always have you for my top priority. You're my number one, number two, number three, number four, number five concern. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, this leg broken, but don't worry about me, mom. You smell like you had a really long day, and I just want to help you out. How you doing?
Right.
Oh, anything I can do to help you. So I want to be that resonating disruptor in a very positive light for pet parents that get it because it starts with you guys too, the pet parents. You got to want to do it. It's very intentional understanding, respecting what this type of pet needs, and how to mitigate those damages effectively and efficiently because they don't want to be limping. That's not normal. It's not
Hmm.
normal to have diarrhea for weeks at a
Mm.
time.
Mm.
It's not normal to be having chronic ear infections. When was your last ear infection, Ryan? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not normal. So we can fix these situations. We can resolve them and not put us back in those buckets that are expensive, that make you want to hate us as a veterinary in the veterinary systems, that make you think we're price gouging. Let me be that disruptor in this field that desperately needs some change and some modifications. And to your point, Ryan, in an industry that we know can be very stubborn when it comes to said change.
Mm. Man. If your journey was a blueprint for others, what's one bold step you'd tell them to take today, no matter how scary?
One bold step I would tell people to take today is be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. You got to. If not, if you start doing what this person does or thinking that's a good idea or chasing the bag, oh, that's a big misconception,
Yeah.
right? Don't chase the bag. And especially what I'm hearing, because I've been out of veterinary medicine school since 2012. What I'm hearing nowadays is, they're being taught that you got to specialize in something to make it
Mm.
to make it big. And the general practitioner is like almost like downgraded to slop, which is far from true. You are what you make it. If you decide you want to be this type of veterinarian with this type of quality, and that you clearly understand that everybody's not going to be for you, but you're really good in this lane and you really tap in to that lane, success is imminent. It's
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
But you got to do the work. And I think a lot of people don't want to do the work. What I'm hearing now also is they want 3 days on, 4 days off, some absorbent amount of salary that don't make sense to the price tag and for the things you don't bring to the table.
Right.
What I tell students now is, look, you are a professional, no different than any NBA, NHL, NFL player. Why would you bust your butt for 4 years in pre-trials, right?
Right.
Graduate, went through all
Right.
that trauma graduating, just to say, okay, now that I'm in the NBA, I only want to practice, meh, 3 days a week, and I
Right.
expect to start, and you better pay me all this stuff. Oh, and by the way, I'm in the NFL, and I'm a linebacker. I don't hit nobody
Yeah.
over 185. I won't even do that. Nope, can't do it. If they're
Right.
185 pounds, I don't hit them. Nope.
Right.
And I've seen that in the industry, and that's becoming a very negative trend because you got to grind right away. Get that bag, understand what you can do, be great at it. I don't count hours. Like my first 2 years, I can't recall how many hours a week I worked.
Yeah.
But then when I got what I needed, I can pivot.
Yeah.
Get what you need first. Know how to do some stuff,
Yeah.
and then be very clear and intentional of the type of veterinarian you want to be. And there's no need to downgrade what your original plan was because the certain location you're at today wasn't a good fit.
Right.
Bottled water at 7-Eleven is what, 50 cents, $1.11.
Mhm.
Same bottled water at the airport is going to run you $11.
Right.
Same water, different location, different value. So just be valuable and make sure you change the scenery and do
Mm.
your research. This is where it comes into research.
Mhm.
Find a spot that fits you. Don't just say, "Oh, you're going there, I'll go there too."
Right.
He may not want what you want. She may
Mm-mm.
not do what you want to do.
Mhm.
Be intentional with that, and it's okay to say that out loud, unapologetically, and go for it, and don't stop. So that'd be
Yeah.
my best recommendation in that bold space of being like, hey, just be that disruptor, change it. There's a product, many problems. Find a problem, solve it, and when you solve those problems enough, and people really listen to you solving those problems, the financial component just comes with that, especially
Yeah.
when you're passionate about it.
Yep. Last one. What's been your favorite podcast interview that you've ever done, and how do we top it today?
Oh man. This is pretty good, man. I ain't gonna lie. Dr. Adam Crispin was pretty fun. He's
Yeah.
the chief executive for DVM 360. But his
Okay.
was cool, but this
Yeah.
was really impactful from the questions and the standpoint of like, you know, our relation of understanding what we go through being African American males in this industry. And
Mhm.
I just even your eye language, I already like, yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in the room exactly in the same positions you've already experienced. And
Yeah.
just knowing like, man, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And no matter the position, we deal with it the same. Um, so
Yep.
I mean this was pretty impactful, man. And I do look forward to exploring further, collaborations with you because I think
Yeah.
this reach is very important to the community, especially ours. We're still fighting for civil rights. So how do I
Mhm.
expect this person, this African American person with a Frenchie, to know what they got themselves into?
Right.
They saw the trend, they got the dog, didn't realize it was going to cost them a buttload of additional maintenance because of
Right.
allergies and brachycephalic syndrome and all the
Man.
above. Again, we're fighting for civil rights right now,
Yep.
not on the top,
Nope.
not on top of the alphabet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a challenge, and then it's not their fault, but we just have to make sure our people are aware, so that they can make the right decisions. Because at the end of the day, the joke's on the animal, and
Hmm.
it's not funny. It's a
Mm-mm.
it's a very unfunny joke, and again, it affects so many people at so many levels. You can cuss me out all you want, respect my staff, right? Feel some type of way all you want. We all know it was you that did this, not me. I'm only here to help if you allow me to.
Mm.
So many if thens, and all we can do is try, especially when you bring a total vehicle to us in a crisis. And because you gave us some funds, you expect the most positive outcome in a very unrealistic situation. So, that's another thing. Mitigate expectations. This podcast was great because we're shining light on expectations in this industry, the good, the bad, the ugly, the meh, and the things that really like have such a trickle down effect on the masses. I think our quality of life would go up 70% if more people had pet insurance. If
Yeah.
if your average client had some form of access to care, which is really pet insurance, but no one wants to say that.
Right.
Um, my job, I'd be thriving at work. I mean, I can't wait
I
to go to
mean,
work.
yeah. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
the we talk about pay raises. We talk about so many different things. Pet insurance.
Pet insurance, man. Because I can't get a competent veterinary technician, assistant, or receptionist without paying them correctly. And all my clients want free stuff because they feel that I'm supposed to love their pet and care for their pet more than them and be
Hmm.
great at what I do.
Hmm.
You better be amazing at what I do, and really have great bedside manner and love me and my babies and my pets. And I shouldn't have to pay this much.
Yeah.
False expectations.
Yeah.
You want to go to that type of, it's no downgrade. It's just shelter medicine for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm concierge. I'm a personal touch. I'm gonna tell you what you need, how to pivot. I want to be preventative and assist you in this manner. But you want what you want. You just got to be very clear. And that's from the pet parent side. They have to be very intentional about the type of care they want for their pet,
Yeah.
which comes with some circumstances and some consequences. But they got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I really appreciate you for shining a lot of light on this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully your platform loves it too. And maybe, get some comments in there and let us know what you want to talk about. I know we got real
Right.
indie industry, but for the average pet parent, it starts with y'all too, man. Y'all got to help us help the pet. It's us versus the problem once you're there.
Right. Right. And
It's
we're
not me.
more.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's not me versus you. No, it's not me versus you. It's like us versus the problem.
Yep. Yep.
So let's handle that, because the pet can't tell us what the real problem is. And
Mm-mm.
I'm not Miss Cleo. And last time I checked, Ryan and I, none of us have a crystal ball to say, oh yeah, it's just, you know what? Yeah, it's
Mm.
this.
Right. Right. Mm.
Verify and then
Mm.
treat. But yeah, I really appreciate that.
Dr. Joe, thank you for your passion, your presence, and your purpose. This conversation was more than just informative, it was revolutionary. To our listeners, follow Dr. Joe at justcallme.doc. Support, enjoy a bowl, and if this episode made you feel something, share it. Let's spread brilliance.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your black excellence, brother.
Yes,
And I
sir.
continue to
Same here.
thrive in your space, be unapologetic. You don't owe nobody nothing but the truth
Yep.
and your passion. And that reaches more than you think, you know?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna continue to push this. I'm gonna try to get as many of us together. Like I told you, I'm gonna reach out to Dr.
Then,
Angelo. I want to
mhm.
reach Dr. Blue and them out in
Houston, a
Houston.
Sci-Fair,
Yes, sir. I would love to do a roundtable with just a group of us and just have those conversations.
and they need it. They are
Yeah,
needed, man.
yeah.
They are needed, necessary. But thank you, Ryan, man. You've been great, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Keep doing your thing, and reach out if you need anything. Let me know. Also, but I love my pet. That's my other platform for Black
Yeah,
excellence and just communication with like one-to-one information, for keeping it very simplistic when it comes to your pet and your pet's value. So
right.
yeah, man.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
You guys stay tuned. We're gonna get this one out to you really quickly. This one is for the books. Thank you again.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Ryan from Athletic Conceptual Training. We're serving the Livermore area and we really want to partner with you. Students, if you're ready to get better in basketball, volleyball, tennis, come and check us out. Look at our Instagram. We have a lot of content and we got more coming. We're one of the fastest growing company in the Bay Area and there's no other place to be. Parents, if you really want to unlock the potential of your student athlete, come and partner with us. Or if you yourself want to come out and get some training with Coach Ryan, don't hesitate. All you have to do is click the link below. Unlock your fullest potential. Be ready. Get up, act today. Let's see you soon.